absolutely fantastic was the reveal from Terry Bogard. It was fantastic of a reveal from SNK. He was cool, man. He was great. Welcome to the video. Welcome to the SHINTONE channel and realm. You know what's coming, man. 37 minutes on the dot. On the clock. One of those. I'm gonna show you guys who the fuck's gonna be in there, and it's gonna be. Okay. First of all, this list is fucking stupid. I've been seeing this going around for quite some time. Don't even pay attention to this. This means nothing. Absolutely nothing. This doesn't indicate who's gonna be in the Challenger Pack 5. It just popular. It just don't pay attention to it, please. Agumon, really? He's a toy. He started out as a toy, not a video game. In fact, some of these characters I even talked about in my top 5 characters that will not be in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC. And you know what? I feel like some of those characters need to be talked about once again, but in more explicit detail. You see, some people don't understand logic. And this is why I have to explain why spirits deconfirm playability. Before you exit out the video and give the video a dislike, not yet, please wait. This video is not a joke video. I am 100% fucking serious. You guys, whoever thinks this doesn't know how to fucking think. Listen. In this next few seconds, I'm going to explain to you what literally anybody with a fucking brain understands. Why spirits deconfirm playability. You ready? Listen, I don't hate the SHANTAE series. I don't have a grudge against it or its fans. But what I do hate is the fucking morons on YouTube that think it's okay to give fans, the SHANTAE fans, false hope by making these videos saying that, oh, she's back on the table, everybody's back and stuff. No, they are not. And SHANTAE is not. So why does spirits deconfirm playability? Well, it's very simple. 2 representations for SHANTAE, right? SHANTAE, and I think her name is Risky Boots, right? You have the main character and a very important other character, possible rival or villain character, stand-in, right there. And there's only 2 people. Well, you can add more spirits and DLC when you make it playable. No, that's all you really need. I know it hurts that she is a spirit, but that's representation, man. She's already represented in the game. That's very key. In the feature, she's there in spirit. That's the marketing point of spirits, right? This character is there in spirit. They take over playable characters. You know what I mean? And you know, even with the ARMS character, I don't know why you fucking brought this up, to be honest. Why I put this there. The point is, that's an official representation. Here's the other point. DLC spirit boards. You ready for this one? DLC spirit boards come with the DLC character of choice that count as a new game world. The spirits, none of the characters, DLC characters that came here were spirits or previously even mentioned within the base game before they were announced, which further solidifies the definition of what a new game world is. SHANTAE isn't a new game world, my folks. And that's it. It's just as simple as that. DLC, how the DLC is handled is why spirits deconfirm playability. It's because, and I know what you're saying. Okay, well, I know what you're getting at. So why can't they? It doesn't stop Nintendo from making the spirit playable, even though it's a spirit. So there's nothing's gonna stop them. In theory, that's true. But you have to also pay attention to what's going on. You see, Nintendo is handling the DLC a certain way, in a certain structure. They're giving the DLC character that wasn't hinted at in the base game, and they're giving them DLC spirits alongside them, characters that won't ever be playable. That's structure, and that's a rule set created by Nintendo to how they handle the DLC. So unless they're willing to break that to make SHANTAE playable, which they won't, then you won't get SHANTAE. Ever. Because she's already officially as a spirit in the game. I mean, how hard is that to understand? Really? There's no way to twist it. You know what I mean? That's just the simple definition. Because of the way DLC is handled. That's why spirits deconfirm playability. Because no spirit that was in the game became playable. I mean, how could you explain something even more? How could you explain something so simple even more? I'm not trying to insult people, but it's pretty insulting to me that people even say that this character that even has a fucking chance. Because it's bullshit. And if you're a SHANTAE fan, I'm sorry to let you know, unless Nintendo is willing to break their rules of how they handle DLC characters efficiently in their own business-like ways, then she ain't happening. And don't count on them breaking their rules either. I'm just saying, she's already officially in the game, and they see it as that too. Anyway, I think it's time we finally get started with this character speculation, brainstorming and stuff, huh? So I started out with the genres, looking at the genres that are popular, not really represented in the game, etc, etc, etc. And I mean etc as in, that's pretty much it. I just started from there. So we're gonna, and I really cracked it down from out of all the possible fighting potential, fighting game characters that could be from the fighting game genre, be playable, platformer, sandbox, open world, even some risky stuff that may not even be the game. Period. Like some people like super not thinking about with good reason, like the Grand Theft Auto character, like Carl Johnson, which I guess you can probably agree if you're a Grand Theft Auto fan, know that he is the most iconic Grand Theft Auto character. As I think he is. I'm pretty sure no one's gonna disagree with that unless they have a favorite, like Tommy or Claude, one of those guys. I don't know. Maybe even something from Grand Theft Auto 5, like Michael or Trevor. But mostly it's Carl Johnson. He's the more tame one that could be in it. But the Echo Theory, what's that? So basically, ever since even when I started making the first Smash Brothers video I did on here, on this channel, I personally believe that the last character has to be something big, and has to have an Echo Fighter of some kind. So I pulled everybody here, and we're going to talk about every character here with their potential Echo Fighter, and what it means, what their inclusion really means as the last pick, potential last pick. Now, people talked about Nightmare, so I want to give my little thoughts on it. Besides what I've already done in my top 5 underestimated picks video, he was one of them. But ultimately, why would they pick Nightmare? Basically, why not? He's in a 3D fighting game. Why would they pick him in this pass with the Echo Fighter of Siegfried? Now, there's no way. It's just one of those things with this Echo Theory. That the theory is that the last fighter is going to have an Echo, and it's going to be a popular fighter or a very unique fighter in some way to the series of Smash Brothers, and it has an Echo Fighter that you can't really separate or put them separate from each other. That's how kind of Nightmare and Siegfried are, and as you saw them, Nightmare versus Link. I think it'll be a nice callback to put him in just to have that battle. Because Link was on his playground, now he's on Link's playground type of deal. And moving on to this Mortal Kombat for a moment. So many believe that Mortal Kombat was banned in Japan, but all that really happened was that it just stopped being published and it moved to Japan. That's really it, you know what I mean? It's not banned. The last Mortal Kombat that was in Japan was Mortal Kombat Trilogy, and the one of the things I'm worried about though, because that hurts Mortal Kombat characters' chances, and how I think the gameplay here kind of shows how School of Sub-Zero could be easily and how they can easily play from their Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 counterparts here. How Sub-Zero can easily play as an Echo Fighter of Scorpion, and why Scorpion and not Sub-Zero as the front? Even though I like Sub-Zero more than Scorpion as a ninja, but Scorpion just makes more sense because guess who's the face of NetherRealm Studios? Who's the face of the Project Soul Nightmare? You know what I mean? So that's that. I mean, they're my most wanted characters personally, but they still have a chance, and they could still be made a certain way too. They don't need blood. You can use their Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and I put up Trilogy is because if they had to market something, they could re-release Trilogy Arcade Collection in Japan if they announce them. But that's just a short way of talking about it. Either way, let's move on to a much more likely character in general, Phoenix Wright, and an Echo Fighter for Phoenix Wright. Some of you may say, the argument that you can't find a moveset for him. That's invalid ever since he's been in the fucking Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. So that whole argument is completely invalid. He can still be in this game and have an Echo Fighter at that. I do believe Capcom is not done yet on a natural, not really a part of the Echo theory thinking, but just basically in general, I don't think Capcom's done it. Capcom has so much important stuff on the Nintendo and just shared an important history with Nintendo, like Phoenix Wright being Nintendo DS only for a while, even including spin-off games from Miles Edwards, which is why I think he should be his Echo. But moving a little forward into Double Dragon. Many of you, man, I've heard of this. It's a classic gaming title, very retro. Honestly, already, I thought Nightmare had a chance. Scorpion, just based off the Echo theory alone, that there's gonna be having an Echo. This one seems like the most likely so far. Actually, no, Phoenix Wright kind of seems like the most likely for me so far. So it's between Phoenix Wright, because I'm gonna tell you the chances as we move over, just in general conversation. You know what I mean? I just pulled some echoes from the list I have here, and we're gonna figure this out. We're gonna figure out who it is, and that's how it's gonna go, based off the Echo theory, which is, if I have to say it again, if I haven't said it, I'm just gonna say it that the last fighter will have an Echo. So we're just generally looking to people who has Echo and just talking about it, and that's the basis of Echo theory. So Billy Lee Double Dragon, there's a lot you could do. This is Super Double Dragon, which is technically, correct me if I'm wrong, Double Dragon 4. So yeah, look at that. It's Billy Lee right now fighting. It's a beat 'em up, something we haven't really seen. You can also see Mike Haggard there as well, which also represents beat 'em up games, but that'll also be a Capcom rep too. An interesting thing, if you don't know, that Arc System Works owns Double Dragon. So technicality, they be Arc System Works rep. That's going to be important to note. Now, we'll talk about them a little later, I'm sure. Let's go to some other characters that have echoes that's on the list, like from the survival horror genre, Jill Valentine and Chris Redfield. Now you know the situation. It's kind of similar that with Mortal Kombat and Doom, because of how their violence is, or Resident Evil, but because Resident Evil is Resident Evil, for lack of better words in that sentence there, it has more of a chance than both Doomguy and Scorpion. And it being the character of choice, it being Jill Valentine, is really cool as a fifth fighter. I think it could work because, like I said, there's no survival. Actually, I don't think I said it. Maybe I did. Well, I'm going to say it right now, if I didn't. There's no survival horror genre picks besides the Fatal Frame Assist Trophy in the game. So, there you go, and it's perfect, around Halloween time. I guess you could call this a little mini theory that, if Terry comes out in November, then the other DLC characters could be announced on the Halloween. It's a perfect way to announce a Resident Evil, Mortal Kombat, or Doom character, but then on that day. You know what I mean? So Yeah, no, we're on to Kingdom Hearts. I don't really have much to say about Sora, besides, there's always a problem with the Disney thing, and that's up to Nintendo if they want to deal with Disney and Square Enix, you know what I mean? It's possible, but because the Disney thing really could shock, you know, the whole situation up. But besides the Sora thing, that he's also one of my second choice after Scorpion is Sora. So just to let you know, he's my second most wanted. Kind of first and second was Scorpion. Roxas. Now, you could put Sora in without Roxas. It's not like putting Scorpion without Sub-Zero, putting Nightmare without Siegfried, and putting Billy without Jimmy Lee from Double Dragon, because they're brothers, if you didn't know. If I didn't mention that. But if you already didn't know, it's not exactly as important as those. But still, adding him as Echo Fighter does make a little sense, because he did have his title 358 days / 2 days on the Nintendo for a while before it. I mean, the only way you could play that game is on Nintendo DS. I'm not saying he could be a fighter because of that, more so because of his relationship to Sora, being his nobody and all that. But it's just a go-to. I know Riku. I would prefer Riku, but he's not an Echo Fighter Sora. He's a different character.
Right now on to Doom. I know this has been probably talked about to death. I personally never been paying attention to conversations, but all I know is definitely a deserved choice. I know Doom 64 is a classic title, that's for sure, and he has the similar problems, like I mentioned before, to Scorpion and Jill Valentine, but Jill Valentine kind of has the edge that Doom guy and Scorpion doesn't have. She's, well, part of Resident Evil and stuff, so there's not, you don't have to have that much violence, like ripping heads off and shit too much as they do it. And she's Capcom, so that's an advantage point right there. And I mean, he could be the one to break the barrier. I mean, there is a certain barrier that does need to be broken, and I didn't mention that mini theory of Halloween announcements. Doom guy could be the one, or Scorpion could be the one to break the barrier. So yeah, I mean, it'd be more so for every other audience besides Japan, and that's the problem too. You know what I mean? I mean, Sakurai has something to market to. You can't just market Scorpion or Doom guy and then say, hey, go import it. I mean, he said at least when he mentioned Xbox, you could buy an Xbox in Japan officially and legally, out of business. But you can't, say go import it from the US website to go play Mortal Kombat 11. No one's gonna say that. You know what I mean? And that's the initial problem with these characters, Doom Guy and Jill and Scorpion and Smash Brothers. You know what I mean? It's not the fact that they can't work. They could very well work. It's the fact of the marketing aspect behind it. Someone's gonna want to figure out where they come from. You know what I mean? So that's the initial problem with them. Is they could work very well. They have reasons to be on it. The history with Mortal Kombat and Nintendo, Doom and Nintendo. They have a console on they have a game on old consoles and the new ones, and both Mortal Kombat and Doom. So, and of course Resident Evil. It's just a matter of the marketing aspect of it. It kind of really hurts the character's chances, which is very, very much something to take note of as well. So that's the Echo Theory. The Echo Theory states in general, not character specific, but just the character has to have an echo, or probably going to have an echo. But there's something, we can go a step further with this, right? Because there's something I noticed, and there's something that I'm pretty sure you're seeing a specific character in a series extension. His name is Sephiroth. You see, Sephiroth could be in the next DLC pass. One key rule about this pass is that it has to be a new game world. Final Fantasy VII technically is an old game world, but there are only 2 Final Fantasy spirits in the game, and they're both Cloud. That's a bit suspicious. And I know you were saying, we also got 2 songs too, because Square Enix is very picky. Well, this might be their pickiness, I guess you could say. The fact that they want 2 Final Fantasy characters in the game, or well, Nintendo wants 2, or whoever they agreed to have 2. Now think about it like this. Put it like this actually. Put Sephiroth in the game. You add him to the game as a playable fighter, and you know you have to add a DLC Spirit Board with them. You take away the new world rule for a second, and that doesn't apply to the second pass. So, because we already got some new game worlds in the first one, so the second one it doesn't really apply to the new game world rule. I mean it doesn't. The new game world rule is as actually axed, but everything else applies. So that means Sephiroth comes here, gets playable. You add the DLC fighters, spirits, and that's like Aerith, Tifa, Barret, and whatever. And you get a new Final Fantasy VII stage alongside him. It could be from later in Final Fantasy VII. So not only having 2 Final Fantasy VII stages, but 2 playable characters as well. That's how I can see it. And that's how it kind of fits. It's like a puzzle piece with Sephiroth. And I almost call it the Sephiroth theory. But I'm really just going to call it the series extension theory. Because look at the pattern when you add Sephiroth. You know, we got, for Capcom, we got 1 Mega Man rep, 2 Street Fighters. And here's about to come up again, but neater. 2 Street Fighters. Konami, we have 1 Metal Gear, 2 Castlevania. For Square Enix, we got 1 Dragon Quest, 2 Final Fantasy VII reps. There's a certain pattern going on here, and I think almost each main series in the game, third parties, are going to have the same number of reps after all the DLC is done. So let's take a look at Sega. Now Sega has Sonic and Bayonetta. Now I'll put Joker here because some people count Joker as a Sega rep. I don't think so, and we're gonna move him to the second. So right now, there's 3 reps for now, but he's more Atlas because Sega owns Atlas. If that makes him Sega, no, I don't think so. So right now we're gonna leave him there for now. We're gonna get to that in a second. Pac-Man, look at that. Pac-Man's at 1 right now. 1 rep for Namco. Add Nightmare with an Echo Fighter. Siegfried, you get 3. Banjo. Now people see Banjo as a Microsoft rep. I don't think so. You have to see Banjo as a Rare rep, and it makes much more sense. Because it's kind of similar thing to Atlas and Sega. You know what I mean? Joker's an Atlas rep, not a Sega rep. We're gonna take him out in a second. Banjo is a Rare rep, not a Microsoft rep. You know what I mean? So that means is on how many Rare reps left. Fulgore, then Rash from Battletoads. Fulgore from Killer Instinct and Rash from Battletoads. SNK, Terry just got announced. Who else could it be? Mai Shirayumi, Kyo, Kusanagi. You know what I mean? Unless they're like assist trophies with Terry, obviously not. They could be a Metal Slug character. But keep that in mind.
And do not forget that we previously discussed that Double Dragon characters are Arc system work. So add Soul Bad Guy and Billy Lee and Jimmy Lee as Echoes. But if you notice something, that you know that Echoes don't really count as a fighter. It counts as the same number as like 60, and Ryu and Ken are both 60. You know what I mean? So the series extension theory does not stop. As you can see, next to every company here, representation, there's 1 more box left for each. I feel, even though we haven't gotten the Echo Fighter in DLC yet, but if we do, just remember, that each series will have 4 reps, and the selection theory pretty much is each series will have each of the main companies, besides a few like Atlas. We're gonna take Joker out in a second. We'll get 4 reps, 4 representation, 4 character representations, and at least each pretty much each company will get at least 1 Echo fighter. So it's actually 3 representations for everybody with 1 Echo fighter. So keep that in mind, right? With preferred Echo fighter, preferred. So think about it. Capcom has Echo fighter. Konami has Echo fighter. We don't have an Echo fighter for Square Enix yet. We don't have an Echo fighter for Sega yet. Bandai Namco has Echo fighter. You know what I mean? Well, actually, yeah. Look, I just changed this shit up a little bit. So let's add that up. Let's just add Jill Valentine to Capcom. So Capcom has 4 now, because it already has its 4, but it already has its Echo fighter. Another one for Konami that we haven't discussed is Bill Razor from Contra. We have a Contra rep. I mean, think about it. You have the biggest Konami things you could think of: Castlevania, Contra, and Metal Gear. You know what I mean? Think about Square Enix. Whoa, it's missing. Something's up with that. We're gonna get back to that. Think about Sonic. Remember, Atlas doesn't count as a Sega rep, so we took him out for now. But he's still there. Obviously, he's part of the roster. Obviously, but he's somewhere else, and we'll get to him in a second. Replace him with a Sega rep that we haven't yet to get announced, right? Like Ryo Hazuki and Classic Sonic as an Echo fighter. Now, I could see this happening. I could see like Ryo Hazuki being announced as a fighter, and he could also come with Classic Sonic as Echo fighter Sonic. And guess what? If you guys didn't know this, Classic Sonic isn't a freaking spirit in the game, and you know that's very important. People like their specific versions of Sonic. People like Classic Sonic more than modern Sonic. So him being a DLC Echo fighter is actually a possibility. And think about Pac-Man, Heihachi Mishima. Of course, you already have an Echo fighter beforehand with that theory. Fulgore getting Echo fighter Kilgore. Now I could easily replace that with an Echo fighter for Rash, you know, for Battletoads. Terry, here's an interesting one right now, because I forgot to mention it. I'll mention it right now since we're here. Terry could also get that Echo fighter too, and the last, because we still don't know what Terry's coming with in his pack. So Terry can get an Echo fighter, either female Terry from SNK Heroines, or we can get Rock Howard as an Echo fighter of Terry, which would be super hype. And we don't have to get him now, Rock Howard, but just know that if this theory would be true, we're building the theory as we go. We're also establishing what it really is at the same time. So pretty much, it could be that it's just weird. I know I should have gotten someone else to talk with me on this. That's the problem. To help form this, not help it, but like to have this is this type one of those things where you need another commentary to talk with. Kaio. When they announce another Fatal Fury character like Mai, they can also bring in the Echo Fighter Rock Howard. He doesn't necessarily have to come when Terry comes out. Just whenever Mai or Kyo comes out, or you could place Kyo or Rugal if he's like a assist trophy or something. Because they both represent King of Fighters, and Rugal could be the villain, just like Sephiroth and Nightmare is a villain. Soul Bad Guy, we already talked about him. Ragna, too, as a later
Blast Blue representation as Arc System Works representation. Yeah. I mean, look at it. Each one has an Echo Fighter except for Square Enix. But when you replace it with Sora and Roxas, it fits perfectly. So that's why I said I was gonna call it the Sephiroth theory, but when you take Sephiroth out of the equation, then this theory starts to make sense. Which I guess you can call it, you know, I mean, like we already said, they're kind of building it, but also establishing at the same time. So pretty much what we got so far is that I got so far that each of the main third parties are going to get 4 in total, but each of them has to have at least 1 Echo, so everybody stays 3. So having Classic Sonic as an Echo coming later will be actually pretty cool. I know people really love Classic Sonic, and it makes a lot of sense, you know what I mean? But maybe it doesn't have to be an Echo. Maybe it just has to be 4 representations, so we don't have to choose between Sephiroth and Sora. See? And it's still 2, you know, 1 series out of the company. You can still get 2 reps. You know what I mean? Sonic gets 2. Think about it. Okay, let's read that. Let's take this. Street Fighter gets 2. Castlevania gets 2. Final Fantasy gets 2. Sonic gets 2. Soul Calibur gets 2. Killer Instinct or Battletoads gets 2. Fatal Fury gets 2. Or King of Fighters gets 2. What's it called? Double Dragon gets 2. And with that, I think we can officially establish, finally, this theory we've been kind of establishing and building. So let's just say the theory is this. Capcom, Konami, Square Enix, Sega, Bandai Namco, Rare, which is owned by Microsoft, SNK, and Arc System Works will all each get at least 4 representations in the game DLC. Will combine with their base representations. So basically, it doesn't. At least one of the fighters is preferred to be an Echo fighter, so it could be 3 representations, but it doesn't need to be. So Square Enix can get away with Sephiroth and Sora. However, if the case of the alternate version of that theory could be it has to have at least 1 Echo fighter for each series, then Sephiroth gets canned, and of course it'll be Sora and Roxas. At that point, I think we can also add the point that they probably, I mean, at this point in reality, they're probably going to try to get the 100 fighters because they know they can. So they're going to add the rest of these 7 fighters right there, because 74 plus the 19 fighters that we added equals 93 plus 7 equals 100. So minus 1 because we didn't count 75 equals those 6 fighters and their Echo Fighter or Master Chief or Steve, because I believe you have to choose between them 2 at that point. And with those theories in mind, these theories in mind, we just went over the series extension theory. The Echo, we started with the Echo theory. Pretty much very simple. The last fighter might just have an Echo Fighter because it's the very last one that has to have the biggest thing. Now, Terry Bogard could still get Brock Howard as an Echo Fighter too. That could be a huge surprise. And in fact, honestly, both Terry and the last fighter could have an Echo Fighter too. So you never know. But keeping that out in mind, keeping in mind the original Echo theory being that the last fighter has to have the Echo theory because he has to go. He's the one that goes out with the bang of the fighter pass. Basically, I've tracked it down to it either has to be a Capcom rep, a Bandai Namco rep, or Arc System Works. From the mindset of just the Echo theory by itself. From what I gathered on the paper, and what I know of the characters that I put there on the what you saw right here. But I also
know that the series extension theory on that, it could be Sega or Bandai Namco or System Works. But I think I know we're going this direction. Now, I didn't mention these two guys. I know I mentioned Activision's Crash, but I didn't mention Guitar Hero or Arthur. Now, I think it's very important that I want you guys to consider them as part of this list too, because I kind of forgot to add them. Because the Guitar Hero could be an interesting pick, though Guitar Hero is not really relevant anymore. It's still a very interesting, could be a very interesting character to add to the game, because he also represents the rhythm genre of games. That's something that we didn't have represented here. And of course, Ghosts and Goblins, or Ghouls and Ghosts, main character Arthur could very well be represented as well. But I don't think he's as interesting, even as Dante, or as Mega Man. Or as Jill Valentine, or even Mike Hager. I mean, he's in between Mike Hager and that. So I decided that Arc System Works. I think the character is going to be Arc System Works character because we haven't gotten that. So I'm going to go with the mindset of the selection theory a little bit here, more than the Echo theory. And I'm going to say, but with the Echo theory in mind as well. So here's my pick for who's going to be in Fighter Pass 5, what all we discussed today in this video. It's going to be a Double Dragon character. I feel it. It's going to be an Echo Fighter with his brother Jimmy Lee. And if it's not that, if my information is somewhat wrong, then it's going to be Soul Bad Guy. That's my second pick. My third pick is going to be Ragna. My fourth pick is going to be Heihachi Mishima, which is Bandai, because I feel like he's either going to be Arc System Works or a Bandai character for the fifth or the Challenger pack, and they might even have an Echo Fighter, like I said. And my fifth choice is Nightmare with the Echo Fighter, Siegfried. That's it. That's going to be my choice. I want to see if we're right or wrong. Tell me what you think about this in the comment section below. My name is SHINTONE. And until the next confirmation, I will be seeing ya. Peace out.